Some girls are born to be married and raise lots of children. There's an expectation and anticipation to wed, and they wear that honor like a badge. You see them in grocery stores and in yearbooks wearing floral prints so soft. The men they wander off to are the ones with the low-paying jobs. These women may seem happy in their mundane days, sharing quotes of inspiration on their fridge or webpage. Rustic weddings and their farmhouse homes, girls who became one without ever truly being alone. Now the men they wander off to come in many shapes and many sizes and many colors, but are all more or less the same throughout the ages. Now, these men all share a similar thread because from the second they were born, they were also told they must wed. But the difference with these men is they were told they're going to hate their wives after a year or 12 or 15 they will loathe and despise. They were told to make this lifelong commitment at the age of 21 to a girl who's never been in the world or seen or done the things she dreamed about secretly in her bed, in her head, under the cloak of night, of a life far different from that, of just being a young wife. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to get married so young, but when you're raised as its only option, it's old-fashioned and dumb. I mean, shouldn't we get to know ourselves before we become one with someone else? There's more to life than putting all of your other dreams on the shelf. Now, I'm not against a quiet, mundane life, to be a wife with a couple kids someday, living in the rural countryside. But I don't want to be the kind of wife who's loathed and despised, talked about in some bar or club as the old ball and chain in disguise. I don't want to be the kind of wife who is afraid when her husband comes home and she's not been playing her role as his personal chef or maid. I don't want to be the kind of woman whose only joy in her day is a glass of wine and an episode of SVU as she pushes down the picture frame of the man she married 10 years ago or 12 or 15 when she was only 19 and couldn't even toast her own wedding. Now, I'm very pro-marriage. I think it's a beautiful, holy thing. But maybe let your brain fully develop before you put on that ring. That was a piece I wrote called Some Girls Get Married. Thank you all for listening. Some girls told me after hearing it, there was still a part missing. Another side to the story I didn't touch on in part 1, so here's for those girls, a part 2 to the song.